Hey friends, I am Wanda and you are watching Happy Threads Girl, a channel for American Girl doll collectors age 13 and up who love dolls, doll houses, stories, crafts, fashions for dolls, and honestly, just all things 18-inch doll related. If you are new here, welcome. I'm so glad you found your way to this cozy little corner of the internet. And if you're returning, welcome back. My friend, you already know this is a place where we celebrate creativity, storytelling, and all things 18-inch doll. This is going to be a little bit of a different kind of video. I'm going to do a voiceover here. You're going to see some clips of me crafting and some doll photos and just some photos I've taken of dolls. I might share some thoughts from my heart today. It all started with a Happy Hollow sign I was working on. I have this little fictional doll town in my mind that I'm creating, and I was working on it. I had wanted a welcome sign, like what you see on Gilmore Girls, the Stars Hollow sign. So as I worked on it, I kept fussing with it and adding things and taking things off, and finally I had added a rainbow banner on the top of it. And in that moment of adding that rainbow, it just felt right. It fit everything I wanted to say about this little fictional town in my head, Happy Hollows. And it had the spark because it just emotionally felt right. It was the missing piece, sliding into place, transforming it to be exactly what I wanted, that symbol of inclusion and hope and joy. It reminded me a quote from Meet Gibbs, the woman that helped hide Anne Frank's family. And I'm not trying to even compare to myself to Meet Gibbs or anything. It just, this quote has stuck with me for a long time. And I'm going to read it here. And Meep had said, "And every ordinary secretary or housewife or a teenager can, within their own small way, turn on a small light in a dark room." And I'm hoping that maybe this video can be that tiny spark for someone. Maybe you can find a way to be a tiny spark for someone else. Because sometimes being a light doesn't seem like it's going to matter, or doesn't mean a grand gesture. It just means the small everyday acts of kindness and courage. So I gathered my supplies like I always do in times of stress. I got some foam board and some tissue paper and glue and, I don't know, popsicle sticks. I didn't really have a master plan. I just had a heart full of love and a message I wanted to send out. So I glued tissue paper and moved things around and dressed dolls and the colors of the rainbow, so I could put this video out and tell you a little bit about why supporting LGBTQ plus people means so much to me. Because I am the proud parent of LGBTQ kids. And I don't say that because I want to share their stories, because I respect their stories for their space and they need to tell them. But it doesn't mean that because they're growing up now that I don't worry about them and I don't want them to still have safety and live in a world of equality. Because I still worry about them every single stinking day. And I want other people to worry about them too. I want everybody to treat my kids like they're their kids. I want every child, every LGBTQ plus kid, adult, to be treated as if they were your own child. When my kids came out, I didn't have all the answers. And I made mistakes. I asked awkward questions. Oh Lord, I asked some cringy questions. I'm surprised they still even talk to me sometimes for some of the things I ask. But what I did do is I kept showing up. I kept loving them openly, loudly, unconditionally. Because love isn't about perfection. It, it's about persistence. It's about being there, even when you're fumbling, even when you're messing up, and even when you're just learning. There's a quote from Glennon Doyle that just, it lives here in my heart. Glennon said, "It is your job until the day you die to make sure your child knows they are completely loved and deeply worthy exactly as they are." So live with that for a minute. You're only failing if you don't accept them, if you don't love them. That's when you fail. Nothing else you do as a parent is more important than loving them and accepting them as they are. I don't want to lecture anybody. I'm not trying to tell anybody how to live their life. I'm not trying to be political. And this shouldn't have to be a political message to tell somebody they have to accept their child as they are. In our house, love looks like using the right names and the right pronouns, apologizing when we mess up. It's about learning from resources instead of expecting our kids to be our teachers. It's taken effort. It's taken on learning, but it's been worth every second of it. Because every step towards understanding them, towards making connections with them, and every apology was a bridge to love. If you are a parent or a grandparent, a guardian, just someone who wants to support LGBTQ plus people in your life, it's okay not to know everything. Just start with being kind. Start with listening. That's the best thing. You can't mess up if you're just starting with kindness and love. You can't say anything wrong when you're listening. And keep going. Growth and support don't require perfection. They require that you keep trying and that you have an open heart and you try again and again and apologize when you fail. Some of the resources that I used was PFLAG. They have support for family and from allies. The Trevor Project, I was able to use them as a great resource too. They're great for a lot of things. They have 24/7 crisis support, and they're really great with their resources for the LGBTQ plus youth. If you are LGBTQ plus and questioning or still figuring out, please hear me. You are enough. You are not too much. You are not broken. You are loved. You are worthy. You belong. Your story matters. Your existence is a gift, and the world is brighter because you're in it. Now, if you think that I'm being political for just no good reason, or I'm just out here, saying everybody has to accept everybody for everything, I'm going to give you a sobering fact. There's a peer-reviewed study in the Nature Human Behavior. They found that in states where anti-trans laws were passed, suicide attempts among transgender and non-conforming transgender youth rose by 72%. That's not political, friends. No, that is a health crisis. That's people's lives. That is someone's child, sibling, significant other. A life ended too soon because of bigotry and hate. And that's why this matters. Because every statistic is a person, a family, and a story that deserve to be heard and honored. And if you are someone, or you know someone who's struggling, here's a couple resources, and I'm going to make sure to put these in the links. 988 Suicide Crisis Lifeline. You can call or text 988 for immediate support. Trans Lifeline, they're connecting trans people with the community and support and some resources. And the Trevor Project, like I said, they're just such a wonderful project. And they're leading with intervention and crisis support for LGBTQ plus youth. They're trained professionals who can who can help and they care and they're there for you. When I started collecting dolls, it was for an escape. I wanted away from the horrible news. So, and I started collecting in 2017. That was a pretty bad year for me. I had been a news junkie up to that point, and I just had to stop watching the news. It was making me crazy. So I jumped into the doll world, and I've kind of stayed there. I limit how much news I watch, because if I'm watching it, it causes me a lot of anxiety. So I struggled when I do this, when I bring politics into here. But this isn't political for me. This is kindness. Because kindness shouldn't have to be political. Choosing to love people exactly as they are, that shouldn't have to be a radical concept. That shouldn't have to be political. In a world where hate is loud, let love be louder. Let acceptance be something that we don't have to think about anymore. We don't have to keep talking about it. We don't have to keep encouraging someone to be kind. Goodness knows it's not that hard. It's way easier to just be nice, isn't it? And if you don't understand and it's not your bag, you know what? Move on. You don't have to comment on it. You know, I grew up in a world where my mother always said to me, if you don't have something nice to say, you don't say anything at all. And I have lived by that rule. Oh, it's just so frustrating, the things people say. So here I am with my wonky foam board, tissue paper, rainbow, dolls dressed up in rainbow colors. I didn't do it once. I did it twice because I wasn't sure if the first outfits were good enough. So then I had a pool party for them. And this isn't just for my kids. This is for anyone who needs to feel seen and heard. Because if you're wondering if you're too much or not enough, you're not. You belong. You're part of this vibrant, messy tapestry of we call life. And if you're wondering how to support LGBTQ plus people in the community, here's some things that you need to do. You need to use their correct name and pronouns. You need to speak up when you hear harmful language. Support queer creators and businesses and their voices. Donate to organizations like the Trevor Project. They're great. Donate to any organization that supports LGBTQ+. And research the places that you are donating. Even some places that I had donated previously, I found out that they would rather have my child or any LGBTQ+ person die on the street from hypothermia than to let them into their shelter. That's a little sobering fact, huh? And, that was something I had to learn. Make sure you're voting for people who actually believe in equality. That's a big way that you can support the LGBTQ plus people. And on another note, make sure you're sharing stories of joy, not just the trauma. And remember, you don't always have to be loud. You just have to be supportive. You have to be present. Know that your voice matters and your actions ripple. And your support can be the light someone needs. Okay, so I'm just gonna let you enjoy some of these cute, adorable doll photos that I've taken, and hopefully that brings you a little bit of joy and maybe sparks a little bit of light in your life today. Because that was heavy. And if this video meant something to you, can you please like it and share it? And then maybe subscribe to my channel, because I'd like this channel to grow a little bit bigger, so maybe my voice can matter a little bit louder out there and maybe drown out some of that hate. If you wouldn't mind, leave a comment, even if it's just a rainbow emoji. It helps this channel grow and helps the, all the things that make things videos get bigger. Tell me what pride means to you. Tell me what kindness does for you. I do read every single comment and I respond to them just as soon as I can. I'm trying to be really fast about that. In closing, remember that the tapestry of life is woven together with tiny little threads, and every thread matters, and every thread tells a story, and yours is worth telling. This is Wanda here at Happy Threads Girl, and until next time, my friends, see ya.